Hi, my name is Anne Grebel Arroyo Villanueva, and I will be presenting a brief research and study of art creatorship in the Philippine setting. So, this is in compliance to my Fine Arts Diploma course at GK College of Business, Arts, and Technology in their Fine Arts Academy. Let me just show to you a concise overview of art curatorship in the Philippine setting. Now let's define and understand the role of a curator. So, as we all know, curators are very essential in the art world. They are responsible for selecting, organizing, and presenting artworks and exhibitions. So, this role requires a deep understanding of the artwork's historical, cultural, and aesthetic context, and the ability to create a compelling narrative. So, curators research and identify works that fit the exhibition's theme, forecast trends, and recognize emerging talents. So, in the Philippines, they navigate a blend of indigenous, colonial, and contemporary influences, balancing diverse cultural representations. So, curators do plan the exhibition layout, considering visitors' flow, lighting, and they piece interactions to tell a cohesive story. So, they also handle presentation details like framing, writing exhibition texts, and labels to enhance visitor engagement. In the Philippine context, curators face challenges such as limited resources and the need to preserve cultural heritage amid modernization, balancing tradition with contemporary innovation. So it isn't easy to become a real curator. As an example, we have here Federico de Vera. He is a Filipino American designer and curator known for his refined taste and unique approach to art and design. So he is based in New York City and he gained recognition through his boutique De Vera, which featured an eclectic mix of jewelry, antiques, and contemporary pieces. So his work, blending historical and cultural influences, has significantly impacted the art and the design world. The next one, renowned Filipino curator, is Mr. Bobby Valenzuela. So he is a very prominent Filipino curator and art dealer, known for his role as the curator of Hiraya Gallery, which is one of the most respected contemporary art galleries in the Philippines. So, with a deep passion for promoting Filipino art and artists, Valenzuela has played a very significant role in shaping the local art scene. So under his guidance, the Raya Gallery has become a key platform for both emerging and established artists, showcasing a diverse range of works that reflect the dynamic and evolving nature of Philippine contemporary art. So his contributions have been very instrumental in elevating the visibility and appreciation of Filipino art both locally and internationally. So I happened to meet Mr. Bobby Valenzuela back in 1995 when I was only 17 and the youngest member of Circulo Artist Group, resident artist of the University of San Agustin in Iloilo. He mentored us and personally he gave me a lot of things that I still hold on up to today. Another notable figure is Dr. Patrick De Flores, and of course, he is from Iloilo. He is a Filipino curator, critic, and professor, and as well as an author. So he's got a lot of accolades that I cannot enumerate right now because it's just plentiful. So get to know Mr. or rather Dr. Patrick De Flores and understand how he was able to shape or promote our Filipino arts and artists to the entire artist or art community around the world. Now let's get to understand the skills that a curator should have, what specialization and educational requirements are needed to become a professional curator. We all know that curators often focus on a specific time period or field within their discipline. So most curator, archivist, and conservator roles require at least a master's degree in a relevant area of study. So gaining experience through volunteer work in museums and archives is common. So for museum technicians, a bachelor's degree is typically required in this inclination. So for educational and training, curators are required by most museums to hold a master's degree in a relevant field like archaeology, history, museum studies, or art. And with some employers preferring a doctoral degree, especially in science and natural history. So dual graduate degrees in a specialized subject and museum studies can be advantages in this field. So for smaller museums, they may hire curators with a bachelor's degree who often take on managerial duties. And we also have this archivist. So they are actually the one, doing a lot of records. So employers in this field typically require archivists to have a graduate degree in records management, history, archival science, or library science, and of course with practical training in archival techniques being beneficial, and master's degree in archival studies and additional skills in areas like computer science or business are also valuable. So let's take a look at another one. So for museum technicians, they're known to be the registrars in these institutions. So they are usually required, or they must have bachelor's degree in a relevant field. So with experience in museum work and exhibit design being advantages also. So a master's degree in museum studies can be pursued through practical experience, and it is often prioritized. So another one that we need is conservators, and generally conservators need extensive experience and a master's degree, and of course this has to be related to conservation or a related field. So due to the limited number of programs, competition is strong in this field, and qualifications in archaeology, chemistry, art history, and studio art are very important. So knowledge of a foreign language and internships can enhance prospects in this profession. So let's take a look and understand licenses, certifications, and registrations for this profession. So archivists can obtain voluntary certification through the Academy of Certified Archivists with a master's degree and at least 1 year of professional experience. The candidates can pass an exam to earn the Certified Archivist designation, which requires periodic renewal through continuing education or re-examination. So it's very important to check if certification is necessary for future employment. So as you can see, this is like a continuous education, training, exposure, update, and constant, I think, discovering of the new trends or practices, and of course, more studies required. So I have here an example of what I have taken online in one MOOC, Udemy. It's a paid training, and it is more of art gallery, understanding how to handle or how to manage an art gallery, exhibition curating, and artist management. And I'm glad I was able to take this some time ago, a couple of years ago. Now let's delve into the skills and qualities that a curator must have, or those professionals in this field should acquire or should have. So skills and qualities that are a must. First is the analytical skills, computer skills, customer service skills, organization skills, and technical skills. So, what is it for the analytical skills? For this, curators, conservators, archivists, and registrars need strong analytical abilities to assess the history, origin, and significance of various objects, artifacts, or artworks. So, for computer skills, archivists must have excellent computer skills to manage complex database for storing and accessing materials, just like a librarian, I think. And of course, they must have customer service skills. And this is really very important because you are working with the public, dealing with people. So, curators, registrars, and archivists need to be friendly and helpful to assist users in finding relevant materials. So, for organizational skills, while effective storage and retrieval systems are very essential for conservators, archivists, registrars, and curators to manage document and records efficiently. And for the technical skills, so these skills are also required for conservators, and they must have the technical expertise to preserve and analyze historical objects using appropriate methods and chemicals, such as for pottery, documents, fabrics, and paintings, and a lot more that is related to this kind of inclination. In this field of practice, professionals are also required to have or to acquire advancement opportunities. So, for continuing education, they can have this through educational conferences, meetings, and workshops offered by historical, archival, and museum associations. And this is very essential for the advancement of this field. And larger institutions like the U.S. National Archives and Records Administration provide in-house training, and they're lucky to have that one. And of course, in smaller archives, promotion opportunities may be limited, often requiring a transfer to larger institutions that offer supervisory roles. And the advanced position, such as State Archive Director, may require a doctorate in library science, history, or a related field. So, in larger museums, curators can progress through various levels of responsibility, potentially advancing to museum director roles. So, in the early career, curators often begin in regional or smaller museums with opportunities to move to larger, more prestigious institutions as they gain experience. So, publishing research and producing unique work are crucial for advancing in competitive museum positions. So, they must be oriented that their job is not just to arrange artworks and keep the records, but of course to have or acquire more advancement opportunities in this field. Here's the historical overview of curatorship in the Philippines. So, the history of curatorship in the Philippines mirrored the country's cultural evolution, influenced by colonialism, nationalism, and contemporary art. So, initially, curatorship was informal, and it was centered on religious and cultural, or rather colonial artifacts during the Spanish period. And the American colonial era introduced more structured exhibitions through institutions like the University of the Philippines and the National Museum, promoting Philippine culture under American influence. So this is the facade of the Ayala Museum. And then here's the Museo Iloilo, where I have a lot of great memories being able to sell my artworks as a teenager, very young artist at that time. And I think this institution really encapsulated my dream to become an artist that I am today. The next one is Cebu. This is in Cebu. Let's take a look at the cultural and artistic landscape of the Philippines. So the cultural and artistic landscape of our country is very rich and diverse in every tapestry that reflects the country's complex history. And of course, with varied influences and vibrant traditions. So, this landscape is shaped by numerous art movements, key institutions, and the interplay between indigenous and contemporary art reforms. We have here Fernando Amorsolo, and is, of course, our national artist. In this picture, it's his making of Philippine flag in 1955. So Fernando Amorsolo Iqueto was a very good portraitist, a master at that, and a painter of rural Philippine landscapes. So he was nicknamed the Grand Old Man of Philippine art, and he was the first ever to be recognized as our national artist. And here are a couple of his works: Dalagang Bukid in 1958 and Planting Rice in 1949. So next we have Carlos Botong Francisco. So Carlos Botong, or the full name is Carlos Modesto Botong Villaluz Francisco, is actually a very prominent Filipino muralist during his time, and he is from Angono, Rizal. So these are the example of his work. And I grabbed some pictures, of course, from the online galleries, and this one is from Leon Gallery. And let's take a look at this Magpupukot, okay? And look at the price. It's 1.4 million Hong Kong dollars. Okay? And this Magpupukot pulling internet is a very excellent example of his realist renderings and the paintings that he actually depicted are the lives of the fishing community. And of course, it's one of his favorite. Okay, next, we have Benedicto Cabrera. And of course, as a national artist, he got this Bencab nickname, and better known in this name as a Filipino painter who was conferred as the National Artist of the Philippines in Visual Arts in 2006. And he was being noted as arguably the best-selling painter of his generation of Filipino artists. And here's another example of his work, the Yellow Confetti. It's auctioned. It was auctioned, and it's a very dynamic and powerfully resonant work which described the civil resistance of the Philippines during the early to mid 1980s, and it is worth 500,000 Hong Kong dollars at Christie's. Another one is Hernando Ruiz Ocampo, or we often know him as H.R. Ocampo, and this painting is the Genesis. Hernando Ruiz Ocampo is a Filipino artist best known for his abstract paintings. So following in modernist traditions, Ocampo used bold color palettes and bimorphic shapes, which is inspired by both his country's landscape and by science fiction writing. So he was born on April 28, 1911 in Manila, Philippines, and he is a self-taught artist. He just taught himself how to paint. So one of his most famous works, the Genesis, in this picture, was an inspiration for the curtain design in the Cultural Center of the Philippines main theater. I saw it personally. It's so beautiful and magnificent. Well, of course, we have our very own Dr. Aladdin Antiquinio, and he is the Filipino founder of composed photorealism style in fine arts. He is recognized for his works, and one of our prominent national awardees in the Philippine art contests. So, composed photorealism is his practice in fine arts, and he is a recognized master artist, esteemed uh, as an educator and a versatile sculptor as well. Dr. Aladdin Antiquinho has earned a respected place in the world of Philippine fine arts with impressive list of credentials and accolades. So he is also the co-founder of GK College of Business Arts and Technology, and he holds the role as the vice president and dean of the College of Fine Arts. And he is also an international exhibiting artist and the founder of GK Artist Academy, United Fine Artists of the Philippines, which is I am a part of right now and very proud to be. This advocacy or organization that he founded is to unite a lot or unite more of the Filipino young and emerging artists who are eager to learn and advance in the field of fine arts, especially in the academic side. And here are a couple of more works from Dr. Aladdin Antiquinho, and as you can see, it depicts the beauty of Filipino youth in the tropical setting in our country, and it is full of love, and you can really see the positivity that it implies in every brush stroke. So, as we all know, each of these elements produced by our Filipino master artist could be combined to create a scene that reflects the rich cultural and artistic landscape of the Philippines. Well, inspired by the varied styles and themes of this renowned Filipino artist, there are more and more emerging young and old and even newly self-discovered artists in our country today. So I would like to show an overview of Philippine art movements. So since the Philippines has evolved through several significant movements, and each reflecting the social, political, and cultural milieu of its time. So Philippines has evolved through a lot of significant movements that we need to know and understand. So let's take a look at the first one. Well, the modern Philippine art. So this kind of art movement, we have the history of modern Philippine art, which is marked by the conflict between the rules and views of the academy and the innovative methods of the modernists. So the academic style was established during the Spanish colonial period and followed the rules of the Spanish, Italian, and French academies. And of course, not to forget Juan Luna, Amor Solo, and all those renowned artists during the Spanish period. And they all depicted that kind of genre, which was academically borrowed from our colonial settlers here in the country. So next, well, let's take a look at this work of Victorio Edades, The Interaction. So Victorio Edades is often called the father of modern Philippine art, and he was educated in the US. He introduced a radically new perspective on art upon his return here in the country, and he proposed that art could transcend mere representation of reality, becoming a reflection of the artist's mind and emotions. So this painting is Las Damas Romanas by Juan Luna, and as we all know, this is in the neoclassical style, and this artwork is among the most renowned paintings from the colonial period. And as a master of the academic style, Juan Luna was the first Filipino artist to gain international acclaim in both Europe and the United States. And the revolution of the modern Philippine art reflects a dynamic interplay between the established norms of the academic tradition and the groundbreaking innovations introduced by the modernist artists. So during the Spanish colonial period, the academic style became prominent, shaped by the artistic conventions of Spanish, Italian, and French academies. So this style emphasizes the formal techniques, adherence to classical standards, and a focus on realistic representations. So this is Fabian de la Rosa's Houseboats in a River. Well, as seen in this photo of the painting, it is as emblematic of the transition from Spanish rule to American occupation. So Fabian de la Rosa's subdued landscapes and genre paintings, influenced by Impressionism, became representative of the era marked by uncertainty and shattered dreams. Again, this is Planting Rice by Fernando Amorsolo. And the arrival of the American led to a surge of nationalism in the Philippines at that time, reflected in Fernando Amorsolo's art. And it is actually highlighting the traditional folk scenes and customs of Filipinos, while some critics view his work as an idealized portrayal of life. Others see it as a reflection of the people's desire for simplicity amidst a complex reality. This one is The Musicians by Vicente Manansala. And as we all know, Vicente Manansala was a pioneering abstractionist in the Philippine art and is known for connecting urban and rural life through his paintings. So reflecting the nation's transition and the influence of American culture. Alongside Fabian de la Rosa, Manansala is one of the top-selling Filipino artists in the West. However, as the 20th century approached, a new wave of modernist artists began to challenge these established norms, and they sought to break away from traditional constraints and explored new forms, techniques, and subjects that reflected contemporary experiences and perspectives. So this shift marked a period of significant transformation in the Philippine art, where the rigid structures of the academy were increasingly questioned and redefined by the creative experimentation of the modernists. Now let's take a look at the significant times in Philippine art history, the social realism. So in this painting, done by Neil Doloricon, actually this artist championed the underdog in Filipino society because of his depiction of social realism inspired art in his work. Social realism in the 1970s, amidst the backdrop of political unrest and martial law, social realism became a very dominant force in the Philippine art. So artists during this time like Benedicto Cabrera or Bencab and Pablo Bensanto used their work to comment a social relevant injustices, poverty, and political repression. So this movement was characterized by its focus on the human condition and its critique of the social structures that perpetuated inequality. This is a work of Imelda Kahipe Indaya, Pasyong Bayan, 1983, and it's done in mixed media, and this is a courtesy of Metropolitan Museum of Manila. Pasyong Bayan was one of Imelda Kahipe Indaya's early works. In her early years as an artist, critics labeled her as a feminist for its focus on the struggles of women, even before she embraced the term herself. So here are a few more of a social realism artwork, and that is the historian Alice Guillermo on his take of the social realism in the visual arts that involved the political charges of Filipino and their consciousness, which is influenced by the Philippine Revolution. Now let's talk about the contemporary arts in the Philippines, and this one is an example of Botong Francisco's series of paintings, The Progress of Medicine in the Philippines, and this was incorporated inside the Philippine General Hospital Hall. So today, contemporary art in the Philippines is characterized by a dynamic and eclectic mix of styles, media, and themes. So, contemporary artists engage with global trends while also reflecting local issues such as identity, migration, and environmental concerns. So, artists like Ronald Ventura and Rodel Tapaya have gained international recognition for their work, which blends traditional and modern elements to create new narratives. Contemporary art in the Philippines encompasses a vibrant and diverse array of artistic expressions. So it mirrors the nation's rich cultural heritage, social issues, and challenges. So, marked by its dynamic use of different mediums, styles, and themes, the Philippine contemporary art goes beyond traditional boundaries to explore innovative forms of expression. So, this era of art is especially noted for its engagement with current events, technology, and globalization. So, this one is the pre war period influence. So, showing here is a self portrait of Victorio Idades. It's an oil on canvas. And the other one is the Kaysaysayan ng Manila by Carlos Botong Francisco. Okay, the next, we have, of course, the post-war influence. And the one is the work of Hoya. It's an oil on canvas. It's a collection of Ateneo Art Gallery. The other one is HRO Campus, Kasaysayan ng Lahi. Let's delve into the key institutions and galleries in our country. So, several institutions or galleries have played a key pivotal role in shaping and promoting the Philippine art scene. The first one that we have here is the Cultural Center of the Philippines. It was established in 1969 and it has been at the forefront of promoting Philippine arts and culture. It has hosted countless exhibitions, performances, and festivals that showcase the diversity of Filipino artistic talent. So the CCP serves as a home for both traditional and contemporary arts, providing platform for artists from across the country to present their work. The next one, we have the Ayala Museum. It's located in the heart of Makati. The Ayala Museum is known for its rich collection of Philippine art and historical artifacts. So the museum has been instrumental in preserving and promoting the country's artistic heritage. And with the exhibitions that span from pre-colonial artifacts to contemporary art, it is also offering educational programs that foster appreciation and understanding of Philippine culture. We have here the Vargas Museum. It is situated within the University of the Philippines in Diliman campus, and the Vargas Museum houses an extensive collection of artworks, including works by renowned Filipino artists like Fernando Amorsolo and Botong Francisco. So the museum, of course, not only preserves important pieces of Philippine art, but also serve as a space for contemporary exhibitions, research, and discourse on art and culture. Let's not forget the influence of indigenous and contemporary arts. Contemporary artists in the Philippines frequently draw inspiration from these indigenous traditions, so either by incorporating traditional techniques and motifs into their work or by interpreting them in a modern context. So, for example, contemporary artist Rodel Tapaya is known for his large-scale paintings that weave together folk tales, myths, and historical narrative, often drawing on indigenous symbolism and themes. So, this dialogue between the old and the new is a defining characteristic of Philippine art, reflecting the country's ongoing negotiation between tradition and modernity. It allows for a continuous reimagining of cultural identity and artistic expression, thereby making the Philippine art scene both dynamic and deeply rooted in its heritage.
Now, the narratives of what I have discussed brings us to the very core of this subject matter: curatorial practices in the Philippines.
I would like to present to you the exhibition planning and management, and we have the 8 phases to practice. So the first one here is the concept development, next selection of artworks, exhibition design and layout, and then the logistic and coordination, interactive materials and programming, marketing and promotion, opening and execution, and the last one is the evaluation and reflection. So we need to understand that exhibition planning and management is a very meticulous and creative process that involves several stages, from concept development to the final execution. It requires a deep understanding of the artwork, the intended audience, and the logistical and aesthetic consideration needed to create a cohesive and impactful exhibition. The first phase is the conceptual development. So, the first step in creating an exhibition is the development of a clear and compelling concept. So, this involves identifying the theme and, of course, center the idea that will guide the selection of artworks and the overall narrative of the exhibition. The curator may draw inspiration from various sources such as current social or political issues, historical events, artistic movements, or the work of a specific artist or group of artists. So research is crucial at this very stage, as it helps the curator to refine the concept and ensure its relevance and resonance with the intended audience. Next is the selection of artwork. So once the concept is established, the next step is to select the artworks that will be included in the exhibition. So this process involves reviewing and evaluating potential pieces, considering how each work contributes to the overall theme and narrative. So the curator must also consider the diversity of mediums, styles, and perspectives to create a balanced and engaging exhibition. In some cases, the curator may commission new works from artists to align with the exhibition's concept. So the third is the exhibition design and layout. So with the selection of artworks finalized, the curator works on the exhibition design and layout. This involves planning the physical arrangement of the artworks within the gallery space to create a logical and aesthetically pleasing flow for visitors. So factors such as lighting, spacing, and the relationship between different pieces are carefully considered to enhance the viewer's experience. The design should allow for a coherent narrative to unfold as visitors move through the exhibition. The fourth phase is logistics and coordination. So, the logistical aspect of exhibition planning includes coordinating the transportation, handling, and installation of artworks. So, the curator works closely with art handlers, installers, and technicians to ensure that the artworks are displayed safely and according to the desired specifications. So, this stage also involves managing budgets, timeliners, and resources to ensure that the exhibition is executed smoothly and within the planned schedule. Phase 5 is the interpretive materials and programming. So, to enhance the audience's understanding and engagement with the exhibition, curators often develop interpretive materials such as wall texts, labels, catalogs, and multimedia guide. So these materials provide context, background information, and insights into the artworks and the overarching theme. Additionally, curators may organize public programs such as artist talks, panel discussions, workshops, and tours to further enrich the visitor's experience. So phase 6 is marketing and promotion. Effective marketing and promotion are very essential to attract visitors and generate interest in the exhibition. So the curator collaborates with the gallery's marketing team to develop strategies for reaching the target audience. This may include creating promotional materials, leveraging social media, and engaging with press and media outlets to secure coverage. So the goal is to communicate the exhibition's significance and appeal to a broad audience. Now this brings us to phase 7, the opening and execution. So the culmination of the curatorial process is the exhibition's opening. So this event is not only a celebration of the work that has gone into the exhibition, but also an opportunity to engage with the public, artists, and the art community. So the curator oversees the final details, ensuring that the exhibition is presented as envisioned and that everything runs smoothly during the opening event. And finally, for the last phase, evaluation and reflection. So at this stage, after the exhibition has opened to the public, the curator continues to monitor its reception and impact. So this may involve gathering feedback from visitors, analyzing attendance figures, and assessing the success of associated programming. Reflection on what worked well and what could be improved is an important part of the curatorial process, providing valuable insights for future exhibitions. So exhibition planning and management is a complex but rewarding process that requires a blend of creativity, organization, and collaboration. So through careful planning and thoughtful execution, curators bring their vision to life, creating exhibitions that resonate with audiences and contribute to the broader cultural dialogue. We also need to tackle the selection and acquisition of artworks. So here, when selecting and acquiring artworks, curators consider various factors to ensure alignment with the exhibition's theme and vision. So key criteria include the relevance of the artwork to the exhibition's narrative, its artistic quality and originality, and its historical or cultural significance.
For almost the entirety of the primary market, art galleries, seeing their works in the flesh, and then we have art fairs. As a collector, art fairs can be terrific events to consume a tremendous amount of art in a single day, all packed under the same roof.
Or challenge viewers to enhance their understanding of the exhibition's theme. So collaboration with artists and collectors, and as well as the institutions, is also very important at this phase. So collaboration in the art community involves curators working closely with artists,
California.
collectors,
I also
and
create Temperature to the
institutions
Public.
to
The books
ensure the
lined up
success of
according to color.
exhibitions. So this
That was
process
based on an art
includes
piece
deep
that
discussions
an
with
artist did in
artists to
San
align
Francisco.
the presentation
I really
with their
enjoy
vision,
building a vibrant
careful
program. I
negotiations
really
with
love
collectors to
seeing
respect
people
their interests,
light up
and
when they
coordination
experience
with
projects that we
institutions
do.
for loans and
Field of art,
co-creation. So effective
I think it had to
collaboration
do with it
requires
being, and that's
clear
where I got my curatorial
communication,
training
mutual
by
respect,
doing
and
it in the
shared
real
goals,
world.
which lead to richer and more impactful exhibitions. Now let's take a look at the challenges in Philippine art curatorship. So Philippine art curatorship faces challenges stemming from the country's complex history, diverse cultures, and evolving art scene. So key challenges include balancing the representation of traditional heritage with promoting contemporary art, navigating cultural sensitivities, and ensuring a broad spectrum of Filipino identities are showcased. So resource constraints such as limited funding and infrastructure pose significant hurdles, affecting exhibition quality and opportunities for emerging artists. Geographic diversity also presents logistical difficulties, including works from various regions and engaging with artists and audiences outside major urban centers. Additionally, curators face the ongoing task of educating and attracting a broader audience to make art more accessible and relevant beyond elite circles. So, despite these challenges, curators play a crucial role in shaping and advancing the country's vibrant art landscape. Financial constraints are a significant issue with limited funding impacting every aspect of curatorship from acquiring artworks to executing exhibitions. So while our government and the private grants exist, they are often insufficient to fully support large-scale projects or the inclusion of diverse regional artists. National art contests or regional contests, to mention Metrobank and the Design Excellence are made, and the National Commission for Culture and Arts and CCA competitions and some other national competitions offered platforms for emerging artists, but curators still face logistical challenges in transporting and displaying works across the archipelago. Also need to tackle the preservation of our cultural heritage. So preserving Philippine art is vital for maintaining the country's rich cultural heritage, reflecting its diverse traditions, histories, and identities. So Philippine art, from ancient crafts to contemporary works, serve as a living record of the nation's collective memory. Curators play a
The
crucial
museum
role
houses
in
an
this
impressive collection
by
of Panay's cultural heritage,
acquiring, and
which includes
safeguarding
paintings,
artworks of
sculptures,
cultural and historical significance.
illuminated,
They ensure proper physical and intellectual
Japanese
preservation,
art,
documenting
War rights,
context, and make these
fossils,
treasures accessible to the public
and
through
leisure statues.
exhibitions and educational programs. Curators also collaborate with communities to ensure inclusive preservation efforts, protecting both mainstream and indigenous cultural narratives. So, this work is essential for sustaining the nation's cultural identity and educating future generations. A curator must also tackle the emerging trends and opportunities. So this picture is a painting of Elmer Borlongan, Quiapo, and it is worth 9.9 million. So the landscape of art curatorship in the Philippines is evolving with several emerging trends and opportunities. So one key trend is the growing use of digital platforms such as virtual galleries and online exhibition, which expands access to art and introduce innovative curatorial practices that blend physical and digital experience. So we do have the digital curatorship and online exhibitions. So the rise of digital platforms has significantly transformed curatorial practices, giving birth to the concept of digital curatorship and the widespread adoption of online exhibitions. So these developments have opened new avenues for how art is curated, experienced, and shared, reshaping the art world in profound ways. So digital curatorship involves using technology to create, organize, and present art in virtual spaces. So unlike traditional exhibitions, which are confined to physical galleries, digital curatorship allows for the creation of immersive and online experience that can reach global audiences. So curators can now design interactive virtual galleries, use augmented and virtual reality to enhance the viewing experience, and incorporate multimedia elements such as video, sound, and text in ways that are not possible in physical spaces. So today, there is an increasing focus on regional and indigenous art, and showing in the picture here is the iconic Sari Manok. And this means that the Maranao considers the Sari Manok to have evolved from its totem bird called Itaturo, and it is invoked in many rituals and included in their myths and epics. So this is one consideration for curators to involve different regions in our country. And one increasing focus and influence is the fairs from different regions, not just in the metro. One example here is the Min Art or the Mindanao Art. Okay, and of course, contemporary Mindanaoan artists are increasingly gaining recognition, often exploring themes of identity, conflict, and environmentalism. So despite challenges like limited resources and political instability, platforms like these art fairs in the different regions are helping to promote and preserve the region's unique artistic traditions on both national and international stages. So I believe there are a lot of art fairs or art exhibitions that are regularly held in different regions of our country from north to the south. So expanding global presence of Filipino art is now a common trend, and of course Filipino artists and their arts are gaining increasing international recognition, with the artists and curators making notable strides globally. So for Filipino curators, they are also influential in shaping international perceptions of Filipino art and presenting it in a new ways of diversity. So collaborations between Philippine institutions and the global partners, as well as digital platforms, are expanding the reach and visibility of Philippine art, facilitating cross-cultural understanding and attracting international attention. So this growing prominence reflects the rich culture, heritage, and creative innovation of Filipino artists. So for a brief case study, we have notable exhibitions and curatorial projects in the Philippines. So the first that I have cited here is the Philippines Pavilion at the Venice Biennale. So the Philippines has a dynamic art scene marked by several notable exhibitions and curatorial projects that showcase its rich cultural heritage and contemporary artistic innovations. And here are the few examples. As I have mentioned, the Philippine Pavilion at the Venice Biennale. So this is one of the most prestigious art events globally, and the Philippines' participation has garnered significant attention. We also have the Art Fair Philippines. It is held annually in Manila. So Art Fair Philippines is a major platform for contemporary art in the country. Since its inception in 2013, it has showcased a wide range of works from both established and emerging Filipino artists. So the fair includes curated exhibitions, artist talk, and interactive installations, providing a comprehensive view of the Filipino art scene and fostering connections with international collectors and critics. So the National Museum's Hawak Kamay by the E. Aguilar Cruz Collection. So in 2021, the National Museum of the Philippines organized this exhibition, Hawak Kamay, featuring Aguilar Cruz collections. So this exhibition focused on Filipino art from the 19th to the 21st centuries, including significant pieces by masters such as Juan Luna and Fernando Amorsolo. So the show provided a deep dive into the historical and cultural evolution of the Philippine art. So nurturing the spirit, Filipino art from 19th century to the present. So this exhibition, held the Metropolitan Museum of Manila, offered a comprehensive overview of Filipino art spanning over a century. It was curated by Santiago Bosch. It included works from the colonial period to contemporary times, showcasing the diversity and evolution of artistic practices in the Philippines. So the exhibition was praised for its thorough research and presentation. We do have arts festival, for example, the Baguio Arts Festival, and I believe there are a lot more of arts festival in different regions. And this annual event in Baguio City celebrates the city's vibrant art scene and cultural heritage. So the festival features various art forms, including visual arts, music, and performances. So it provides a platform for local artists to present their work and engage with the community, reflecting the region's unique artistic and cultural identity. So the Philippine art scene is vibrant and multifaceted. We have to be thankful in large part to the influential curators who have shaped its development and global recognition. So here are the profiles of some of the most prominent Filipino curators who have made significant contributions to the field. The first one, as I have mentioned already, is Dr. Patrick Flores. And of course, he is one of the most respected and influential curators in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. He is the curator of the Vargas Museum at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, where he also serves as a professor of art studies. So Flores is known for his scholarly approach to curatorship, integrating deep historical research with contemporary art practices. So he gained international acclaim as the curator of the Philippines Pavilion at the 2015 Venice Biennale, where he presented the exhibition Taya String Around the World, as what I have shown earlier, which explored themes of colonialists, geopolitics, and global cultural exchange. So Flores is also a prolific writer and editor, contributing extensively to the discourse on Southeast Asian art through books, essays, and academic papers. We have Marian Pastor Roses. She is a pioneering figure in the field of Filipino curatorship, known for her critical and socially engaged approach. So she is the founder of Tao Incorporated, a Manila-based curatorial and research organization that focuses on the intersections of art, culture, and social change. So Pastor Rosas has curated numerous landmark exhibitions, including Our Faith image at the Ayala Museum, which examined the role of religious iconography and Philippine history. So her curatorial work often challenges conventional narratives, advocating for a deeper understanding of the socio-political context surrounding art. So Pastor Roses is also a celebrated writer and theorist, and her work has influenced a generation of curators and cultural workers in the Philippines and beyond. Here we have Joselina Cruz, and she is another key figure in the Philippine art scene, known for her dynamic and innovative curatorial projects. She is the director and curator of the Museum of Contemporary Art and Design, or MCAD, in Manila, where she has curated a wide range of exhibitions featuring both local and international artists. So Cruz's curatorial work is characterized by its engagement with contemporary issues, often exploring themes such as identity, globalization, and technology. She has curated exhibitions in prestigious venues around the world, including the Singapore Biennale and the Venice Biennale, where she co-curated with the Philippine Pavilion in 2017. And Cruz is recognized for her ability to bridge the gap between Filipino and international art, creating platforms for dialogue and exchange. So this is Roberto Chabet, and though primarily known as an artist, he is known as the father of conceptual art. He is also celebrated for his curatorial work, which has had a profound impact on the development of contemporary art in the Philippines. So as the founding curator of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the CCP, in the 1970s, Chabet played a crucial role in introducing avant-garde art to the Filipino public. So he curated numerous exhibitions that challenged traditional artistic norms and encouraged experimentation mentoring a generation of artists who would later become prominent figures in the Philippine art scene. Chabet's approach to curatorship was highly conceptual, and it was often blurring the lines between artistic and rather between the artist and the curator. And his legacy continues to influence curatorial practices in our country. Here is Ringo Bunuan, and Ringo is a contemporary curator and artist who has made significant contributions to the documentation and preservation of Filipino art history. So she is the co-founder of the Asia Art Archive in Manila. It's an organization dedicated to archiving and promoting Filipino, or rather the Philippine contemporary art. So Bunuan's curatorial projects often focus on overlooked or underrepresented aspects of Filipino art, bringing attention to alternative practices and narratives. Her work is characterized by a deep commitment to historical research and a passion for uncovering the stories behind the art. So Bunuan has curated exhibitions both locally and internationally, and her contributions to the field have really helped to broaden the understanding of Filipino art and its place in the global context. Here's another woman in curatorship, Angel Velasquez Shaw. She is actually a multimedia artist, an educator, and a cultural organizer living in Manila and New York City. So, Angel Velasquez Shaw is a multidisciplinary artist and curator known for her work in both the Philippines and the US. So she has curated a number of significant exhibitions that explore issues of diaspora, migration, and identity, particularly in relation to the Filipino-American experience. Shaw's work often crosses boundaries between art, film, and activism, creating spaces for dialogue on social and cultural issues. She has curated exhibitions at venues such as the Queen's Museum in New York and the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco, bringing Filipino art to a wider international audience. Shaw is also an educator and advocate for cultural exchange, working to build connections between artists and communities across different countries. These curators have not only shaped the trajectory of Philippine art, but have also made significant contributions to the global art discourse. So their work continues to inspire and challenge, pushing the boundaries of what art and curatorship can achieve in both local and international contexts. We also need to take a look at the future directions. So sustainability and inclusivity are increasingly recognized as essential pillars in the practice of curatorship, shaping the way exhibitions are conceived, developed, and presented. As curators, take on the responsibility of not only showcasing art, but also addressing broader social and environmental issues. These principles are becoming central to their work. So for sustainability in curatorship, it involves actually minimizing environmental impact and fostering long-term preservation and promotion of art. So this includes using eco-friendly materials, reducing energy consumption, and lowering carbon footprints. Curators are adapting green practices like digital catalogs and local sourcing, and they are also using exhibitions to raise awareness about environmental issues. Additionally, sustainable curatorship supports the preservation of cultural heritage by conserving artworks and supporting the communities that create them. So linking the sustainability of art with the sustainability of its cultural origins. inclusivity, and of course, this is a part of the future directions in curatorship. It focuses on representing diverse voices and making art accessible to all. So, regardless of race, gender, socio-economic background, or ability. So, curators challenge historical biases by featuring artists from underrepresented groups and addressing social issues like gender equality and racial justice through art. So they also work to make exhibitions physically and intellectually accessible with multi-language support and accommodations for disabilities. So this approach aims to build a more diverse and engaged audience, ensuring that the art world reflects and values everyone. So part of this is the intersection of sustainability and inclusivity. So in this part, in curatorship, it intersects significantly. So supporting local and traditional art reduces environmental impact and enhances inclusivity by uplifting underrepresented communities. Exhibitions addressing environmental issues can also highlight the impact of climate change on marginalized groups, combining environmental and social justice. Integrating these principles fosters a more equitable and responsible art world, reflecting global diversity and ensuring a lasting positive impact both within and beyond the art community. So as an example is the coffee art, workshop and exhibit, or using indigenous materials or locally produced art materials from nature. We have to take a look at the role of education and training in developing future curators. So formal academic programs in art history and museum studies provide essential theoretical knowledge, while practical experience through internships and mentorships offers hands-on skills. So specialized training and workshops keep curators updated on contemporary practices like sustainable design and digital curation. Fostering critical and creative thinking is vital for innovation in art exhibitions. So thus, investing in curatorial education and training is key to advancing the art world.
In conclusion, let me share to you the impact of curatorship on Philippine art and culture in my own point of view. So curatorship has significantly shaped the Philippine art scene and cultural identity by promoting local tradition and contemporary artworks. Curators have played a key role in preserving our cultural heritage and showcasing regional and indigenous art, as well as reinterpreting historical works for the modern audiences. So they have also championed contemporary Filipino art, introducing it to global audiences and integrating the Philippines into the international art community. So through exhibitions that address social issues, our curators have influenced public discourse, making art more accessible and relevant. And overall, our curators have been instrumental in defining and evolving our Filipino cultural identity, both locally and globally. The future of curatorship in the Philippines holds the promise of greater inclusivity, innovation, and global engagement. So, as our curators increasingly embrace digital platforms and sustainable practices, they will continue to push the boundaries of how art is experienced and understood amongst our Filipino people. So, a stronger focus on regional and indigenous art will ensure that diverse cultural narratives are preserved and celebrated, while deeper integration into the global art scene will elevate Filipino artists and curators on the world stage. So the future of curatorship in our country is poised to foster a more vibrant, dynamic, and culturally rich art landscape with a profound impact on both local and global cultural identity.
Thank you very much for your time that you shared with me in digging for some bits and pieces of information on my research with regards to curatorship in our Philippine setting. As a disclaimer, well, I would like to acknowledge the owners of some video clips that I used in this research, and I cordially and respectfully ask for your understanding, and this has really helped me a lot to produce this study. Thank you so much.